Yeah, what I said is that the step the Mr. President is taking, the step the government is taking now, is the right step in the right direction. Having those kind of people on his team, working closely with them, looking for help wherever he could get it, just to make Nigerians happy, is the right step. Because like what we are used to in the past, where it takes the government months to even listening to Nigerians. But you could see the government cares now, and they are concerned, and they know there is hardship, and they are working towards that. And let's be patient and optimistic that better days are coming. And from the dollar crash yesterday, you could see that Nigerians are so jubilant because one way or the other, the dollar, the inflations and the devaluation of naira is affecting our people. So the government is working towards the right direction. They are doing the right thing by bringing those who know and can be of help on board. And let's see what happens.
Okay, if you remember vividly, when the president was inaugurated, there was the issue of subsidy removal, and since then, if you look at the market reaction to the policy statement of the president on that day, all the filling stations, they swung into increasing the cost of fuel in the market. And at the same time, also there was issue of inflation even before that's before it was inaugurated. And now we are now having a situation whereby if you go to the market, despite the fact that we've seen the dollar crashing, we still have this sense of inflation. The cost of agri produce in the market is still high. Do you think we should give him more time for his policy to be fully implemented? At what point should we interject and say, look, we've taken enough time, we've given you enough time, now it is time for us to react?
Listen, governance and citizens should work hand in hand. There's nothing like giving enough time or not giving enough time. It's a joint. It should be a joint effort. We are not just going to be citizens. We'll be partakers. We are involved in this. And there is nothing like sitting down and waiting for things to get bad before we talk. Nigerians should be involved in the affairs of the country. They should be directly involved. There is no time to sit and wait. And let me say this. Bulk of the problem we're having in Nigeria, why it looks like Nigeria is the only country in the world where things are so terrible, is because of politics. Bulk of the problem you are seeing today in Nigeria is directly as a result of politics. People are playing politics with humans' life because they want to score points. The removal of subsidy is what Peter Obi will have done, is what Atiku will have done, is what everybody said has to go. If you tell me that it was not well thought, it was not well planned, there was no proper planning before it was done, I will agree with you. I won't disagree with that. But for the fact that the subsidy was removed and the market reacted, and people are, we have a more or less of analog. Our system is more or less of uh, not. It's not. We don't have a system that can be properly controlled. We don't have a functional system in Nigeria. Things have to change if the government if there is a process that is working in Nigeria. We have a system that is working, that is functional, all of this should not be a problem. But over the year, we don't have a system that is functional. If you bring Jesus Christ to Nigeria, we will probably experience what we're experiencing now. Everybody is an expert of economics, everybody's a political expert, everybody will have an idea, but there's no system in place. The system is failing in Nigeria, not as a result of absence of policies, but who is to execute the policies in place. Most of this shouldn't be. There is economic crisis across the world. If you go to, there is recession in United Kingdom, there is problem in United States. Chinese are talking. Look at our neighbors. There is problem. We have to have patience and allow the system to work. Definitely, the removal of subsidy will bring a backlash. We should be expecting this. But the government should also be proactive enough to make life better for people, to provide an alternative or an option for people when they know that this is the problem. They should be able to, work around it and make life, hello?
Chief, are you hearing me? Can you hear me, Chief? I believe he is having a network issue because he has raised critical questions that around the globe. We also notice that yes, there are economic challenges. The UK just entered into recession, but then there are several issues that I believe that he is also going to respond to. And one of the key issues is, despite the fact that we've told this particular line, what does he think the president should have done differently in order for us to move the gear forward so that the hardship will not be that much on the citizen? So if he is back, Chief, I would like you to respond to that.
I couldn't hear you. I didn't hear the question. Sorry.
Okay, now you are back. So my question is this. You said that we should give the president time and the president is on the right trajectory. But based on your own assessment, do you think there should be something different that he should be doing, not this particular line that he has already told?
Well, there is something the president needs to do more than what he's doing. The only thing he needs to do is to make sure the system is functioning. We don't have a system that is functional. Everybody wants to bypass the system in Nigeria. If we have a functioning system, and let me tell you this, we have a state government, we're in a federal system of government. We have the federal government, the state, the local government, you don't blame or put everything on the federal government. The structure is in place. The structure is in place, for God's sake. You understand? If you have a functional system, everything that happens in the country should not be put at the, we don't need the federal government. I don't need the federal government to do certain things in my local government. If the system is functioning, it will trickle down and affect almost everybody. But the government should make sure they work on the system, and the police is working, the custom is working, the state is working, the local government is working. You don't have to be giving order from Abuja. If you give order from Abuja, before it gets to my local government, maybe so many people are already dead. And talking about pricing, for you shipping goods from China 4 months ago, there is an increment today, you quickly adjust the price. If there is a system in place, you cannot do that. You understand? So all the government needs to do is not just about formulation of policies. The policies, the laws that are already existing is enough to even guide us. Of course, there could be amendments here and there, but to take care of this present situation, the system has to work. Now the system is not working. What is happening to the banks? Is the bank not getting money it's not getting dollar from the central government? Where is the dollar going? In a situation whereby you call your bank manager, and your bank manager has to call an aboki to sell you dollar. And let me ask, what is wrong with why is it that up to date, after how many years of independence, Nigerians cannot walk into the bank and transfer money from Naira account to United States, to United Kingdom? I have to change my money. What kind of a policy, what kind of a backward system is that I have to change Naira to dollar before I transfer money to Sweden? I'm sending money to Sweden, for God's sake, but I have to transfer my Naira to dollar, then transfer the money to Sweden. I think something is wrong with us, except if you want to face the reality. If the international community are the one manipulating us, do away with them. Do away with them instead of using fire brigade approach. If you use fire brigade approach today, the system will be countered tomorrow. It will be countered tomorrow. We go back to square one. Mind you, those people are benefiting from, those who are profiting from the system, we always work to circumvent. They will always work to destroy whatever you do today that doesn't have a base, that doesn't have a firm ground. Why can't I go into the bank and transfer my money from my account, from my Naira account? Nigeria is an independent country, for God's sake. In Sweden, in Norway, in Malta, in most of the country I know of, even in Ghana, I remember, you can go to your bank, transfer money from your CD account to Sweden. I don't have to convert to dollar, then before I send to Sweden. That is stealing. That's daylight robbery. Why can't I travel with my bank card? Why can't I travel with my bank card and get to Heathrow Airport or get to anywhere in the world and use my Naira card and they debit it? When you do this, the pressure on dollar will diminish drastically. If you give an excuse of money laundering, that means you don't know what you're doing, because that's the restriction can still be placed on the cards. Who is fooling who? And why is it now we're talking about problem and problem?
In Chief, if you can just listen. In this particular case, are you suggesting that Nigeria should move from the bloc which they've been with the Western and then the United States of America to the BRICS?
We've long overdue. We are just deceiving ourselves. When you talk to every Nigerian, they want to compare themselves with America. They want to compare themselves with United Kingdom. Why don't you compare yourself with your neighbors? Just mind yourself, compare yourself with South Africa. South Africa is walking in that direction. Form alliance with those who care about you. It's all about interest. Protect your interest. Protect the interests of your people. Why do you have to stand with United Kingdom or United States when they are not serving you? For what reason? See, how many Nigerians who live in the United Kingdom has a US dollar in United Kingdom? How many Nigerians who live in the US has a pounds account in United States? If you live in Sweden, you spend krone, Swedish krone, SEK. If you live in Norway, you spend their money. Why are we so crazy about dollar in Nigeria? The reason is this: I cannot order anything from abroad without the use of dollar. So dollar is so important because people keep asking, why are Nigerians crazy about dollar? Because our leaders are not looking at it. Everybody is a professor of economics, but if not, we don't place value on what we have.
But Chief, if you agree with me, Chief, if you agree with me, you understand that even the BRICS nation, till this moment, they find it difficult. I don't know if they've actually overcome it. The issue of them to move away from the SWIFT system into the new system they want to create. And I believe Nigeria is also in that entanglement whereby, you know, we are already making use of the SWIFT for you to make transaction and all the rest. But then, still, let me look at this particular issue that you raised, which is very, very important.
Nigeria
you said we have a
place in the world. Nigeria is the most populous black place in the world. I'm telling you, we are very important. America want to do business with us. What on earth do you think Bill Gates is doing in Nigeria if Nigeria is not needed? We have the human resources. We have the power. We are not using what we've got. God has given to us well. We have a say. Anywhere you see 10 blacks, I bet you 5 of them will be Nigerians. If we make use of what we have, we are very important. They've enslaved us enough. If you join hands with the BRICS, if you initiate your own policy, we will suffer it for a period of time.
But then don't you think it is also our own fault? Chief, if you can listen, don't you think it is also our own fault that we don't have the manufacturing sector working efficiently in such a manner that we can also export some of this technology, we can also export some of this food outside the country so to strengthen the dollar instead of looking at it from the other axis?
We've been talking about export versus import. If your export is low, definitely you suffer. But for you to get to this thing, let me give you an instance. If I want to bring in, I have a farm. If I want to bring in equipment from United States or United Kingdom or anywhere in the world, how do I get those equipment down to Nigeria? I still have to make use of the dollar. It's a gradual. If I don't have access or means of bringing equipments into the country, How do I now be able to produce what I can export? These things are interwoven. If you take this step, you don't take one step and leave the other. If you have a system that is functioning, that is functional, things will come very easy. But because we have a system that is not working, we over-reliance on oil, we reliance on importation. Look at now, almost when you go to the cities in Nigeria, everywhere is a shop, complex, mall, even toothpick is imported. Of course, we need to export to balance the trade. But the thing is this, there are certain measures that need to be put in place for us to be able to do this. If you want to bring in fertilizers, how do you get it? We used to export. We are heavy. We are one of the biggest exporter of cocoa in the past. What has happened now?
Chief, if I will come in, please.
Where I come from, in my state where I come from, even manufacturing, productions, exportations requires certain things. How do we get there? As it is now, to strengthen the naira, all measures to strengthen the naira is not just about giving 20,000 to the. Now I can assure you that if you look at it closely, the system, there is no system. I don't even want to go there. There's no system. If there is a system, if we have a functional system, the government, the states will be able to work together. There is no link between the local government, the state, and the federal. And I want to tell you today, go to those local government, ask them how much allocation is coming from the federal to the state. Are you aware of the fact that some states, some local government receive fund in their account in the morning, and in the evening the money is out? Are you aware of the fact that some local government sign for the money that never gets to them? And if the local government don't get the money that is assigned to them, how do they develop the local government? Are you aware of the fact that up to date, I have not seen one state that came out to say federal allocation did not get to me this month? Some have even borrowed from the federal government. Yet Nigerians put all their effort. Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President. Of course, Mr. President.
Are you attributing the fact that the government? Are you stating clearly now? From all indication, it seems like the problem we are having in terms of economic challenges are actually the problem created by the governors. Is that what you are saying?
They are not created by the governors. They are created by all of us. All of us. Because you can't be a spectator. It's your country. I don't have any other country. I'm in Nigeria. I love Nigeria. If you don't play your part, you are part of the problem. If a citizen cannot checkmate the local government, the chairman of his local government, he can't checkmate the rep, you can't checkmate your senator, you can't checkmate your governor, and all you wake up to say, Tinubu is the problem, Buhari is the problem, Jonathan is the problem. Since you were born, I want to ask you a question. Since you were born, have you ever had anybody say, I'm talking of during that tenure, during that age, have you ever seen a Nigerian say, no, this is the best government of my life, I love it? Since the time I was born, all I hear, all I grew up to know is that this government is bad, Nigeria is bad. Now who is going to bail the cat? We've said Tinubu is not good today. Change Tinubu, go and bring Jesus Christ. We will complain again unless the right thing is done.
And what are the right things? Because that is where I'm coming in. What are the right things? You earlier on you said we don't have a system, and I raised the issue.
See, the right thing is to have a law that work, the law that is applicable to me, applicable to you, and applicable to everybody, irrespective of nobody. A system, economic policy that is going to work. It's not the problem we have is not absence of law. It's not absence of policy. Is the execution. Is the fact that the system isn't working. People can bring the constitution now and go and check the history of the most successful men in the world. They are not people who are formally, trained, equipped in the classroom. You learn, you go through it, you sojourn, you pass through the system, you act it. If the laws are there and they are not working, it's useless. We must have a system that works, system that check itself. That's why we have check and balances. The legislature, the judiciary should be able to check the legislature. The legislature should be able to check the executive. That's why they call check and balances. It's not a situation where you have a system that is lopsided, that is mixed, molded up, and nobody is checking anybody. And
So, Chief, I don't know. Are you aware that the Nigerian Labour Congress commenced their warning strike today? I just want to know.
Yeah, I'm aware, and I think it's ill thought out. It's not supposed to be. That's not the way to check. That's not what they should be doing now. That's not. I'm not in support of that, clearly. And I think almost 65 union, backed out. That's not what they should be doing now. It's not just to wake up and just jump on the street because of political infiltrations, because of political manipulation, because of political interest. See, we have to check. When I said be a partaker, we have so many. Do you know that the Nigeria almost have the highest number of bloggers in the world? Because we make use of our data and we use it recklessly. People just talk for the sake. When you check the background from which they are talking, they make no sense. You can't just wake up and say you want to add to the hardship. You are protecting the interests of the teachers, the workers, and you are adding to it. Have a proper dialogue, productive dialogue that is devoid, that is not political in nature. That is not. You must be neutral. You must be seen. You must be apolitical. You will not be having any political interest. And you see, our labor is more or less compromised. I don't want to be too. I love them. I love what they are doing. But some elements there, they've been compromised. And the handwriting is on the wall. Except if people don't want to talk. So you see.
And what are the handwriting? Because if you say the handwritings are on the wall and the labor has been compromised, you also note that we are having challenges in the country. And the labor union said, look, they've given the government enough time to come out and resolve this problem, the issue of insecurity, which has been a major cause for food inflation in the country. So at what point do you expect them to now come out and vent their anger?
This government is about 6 or 7 months or 8 months old. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I want to tell you there is recession in the United Kingdom now. And
that I'm aware of.
IMF is controlling. IMF is the one managing the affair, the finances, and almost the affair of Ghana. You understand? And almost all the countries in our neighbor. People are moving from Ghana to Nigeria. People are moving from United Kingdom to Nigeria. Today, we may not have the time for me to explain why. You understand? We are operating at a different level. Now, the labor can engage the government. They can engage the government. They can have discussion. They can do a lot more than just hitting the street. They can do a lot more than just hitting the street. I don't want to put everything out here. I followed it closely. I believe, my opinion, that the labor is compromised. And this, demonstration is not proper. With the step the government is, when you have a listening government, I'm not a spokesman for APC, But if you have a listening government, if you have a government that is listening, making effort and trying to solve a problem, you give them the chance. Like Professor Wole Soyinka said, I won't come out. He said, I won't come out to start attacking, condemning, and shouting on a government that just came in less than a year, that is still trying to patch things together. It's not like you move into a new house. There are a lot of things to put in place. Nigeria is not such a country where you just come in as Jesus Christ. You see, the best goalkeeper in the world is Mount. Mount will tell you, I will jump there, I will jump there. If they make this policy, This one will say, let's do it this way. Another one will say, let's do it this way. It's all lies. Let's be realistic. Let's face the fact. The labor is not supposed to hit the street now. There are so many other things that the labor should have done that they didn't do. From the state level, from the local level, they should have done that. They didn't do that. Salary, minimum wages is there. There are things they should have done about it. They didn't do anything about that. So you don't just come out now, if they've been fighting for the minimum wages and be questioning the state government, how do you do this and that? I don't want to say a lot of things here, please. I don't know if it's right for me to say that.
Let me move, because earlier on you raised the issue of the state police, which is very, very important, because for some time now the National Assembly, they've debated that, and so many governors they've thrown their weight behind that particular policy. How do you see the independency of the state police not affecting national security? Because there are situations whereby governors sometimes manhandle some of these institutions to their own favor. It means if a particular political party is the governor of a state, for instance, he or she will make use of that state apparatus to his own advantage. So do you see the process to be very, very fair enough, instead of just coming up with issues like this at this particular point in time?
Yeah, let me quickly say this. Let's be realistic. There are state police in United Kingdom. All right? We always make reference to United Kingdom and United States. Having state police is going to be one of the best things that will happen to us. But mind you, you are still going to have the same Nigerian in civil defense, the same Nigeria in, what do you call it, Amotekun. The same Nigeria is the same Nigeria. You are going to put the same water you used to cook soup in Onitsha, the same water you used to cook soup in Lagos, and the same water you used to cook soup in Abuja. One thing that must be done is that we must have a functional system that can check every of all these organs. If you look at, let me give you an example. You do a new road in Nigeria, come back there in the next 6 months and see what happened. Build a new bridge in Nigeria, come back there in the next 1 year and see what happened. We have to change our attitude about so many things. We must have maintenance culture. We must be able to check and manage the system very effectively. State police is long overdue. It will help the police to do their job. The police and the state police will still have a meeting point. They will still have a meeting point. And whether the fear that the governor of a state or some leaders will make use of the state police at their own advantage is inconsequential compared to the advantage we will derive from.
Okay, lastly, before we go, we just have 2 minutes, and I would like you to conclude your thoughts within this particular 2 minutes. The issue of merging of the ministries and some department and agency was kicked up yesterday, and it has to do with the Omosehin's report with respect to how we can cut the cost of governance. What's your take on the president's decision to see that, yes, some of these departments are meshed together, department and agencies are meshed together for effectiveness?
This and that, doing the same thing. The government should do a lot to cut off and merge this. Of course, it is left for them to do, but I think merging them and reducing the cost of governance is very important, particularly at this time when, Nigerians are crying because it's because of the people. It's not because of these people. These people are rich. They are okay. And they are the one piloting us to the wrong direction. You have to reduce the cost of governance. You have an event in Pat Qatar. You see 350 Nigerians are traveling. 120 Nigerians are traveling. Whereas other countries, you see 11 of them. The cost of governance is too much in Nigeria. It has to be reduced. Whatever that has to be done to get it reduced must be done as quickly as possible.
Thank you so much, I Chief Banidele Omosehin, for joining us today on the afternoon edition. It's beautiful that we are getting your point of view from your location there, and definitely I believe those in authority are listening And as you stated, we'll give the government enough time to see that they implement their policy in such a way that the downtrodden in the society will have a